Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first actual real episode of the Lap Down for 2026. I am
Yep.
your host, Greg Farmer, and with me tonight is Alex, Cobra, Ryan, Eli, and Jayme. Boys, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good.
Well, it's cold outside, the nipples are hard, and so I gotta go get the clamps.
Yep, it's pretty cold here too. It's supposed to get down to, well, I know you're near Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, whichever one. Um, it's supposed to get down to about 12 degrees here tonight. So it's going to be pretty chilly outside. It's already down to about 20 degrees. But before we get started, as always, a big shout out and thank you to Will and the Alkali Project over there for the intro and outro music on the show. Please be sure to check out their music wherever you can. All right, we're going to get right in because we had some big breaking news stories today. We're going to kick it off. Well, I mean, not just today, but within the last couple of days. We are going to kick it off with the return of the Roush 99. And it kind of ties into what I'm going to say next. Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing is entering a fourth car to the Daytona 500 with the 99, and the driver is going to be Corey LaJoie. Now, his contract with Spire ended last season, so he is free to go wherever he wants. And it was also announced today that he will be piloting the number 75 Henderson Motorsports truck at the Truck Series opener in Daytona as well. So he's kind of pulling two out of the three for the weekend. Starting with Alex, how do you feel about that?
I think it's great for him. I feel like he's a really good and confident driver, and I think if he's on a good team, even as a third or fourth driver, I think he can still make some noise in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's been kind of lackluster in terms of trying to win races as of late, and I think if he joins like maybe JRG or if Hendrick Motorsports has a spot open in NASCAR Cup Series, I think it'll be a good spot for him to just double down on the Hendrick Motorsports. I think it's great for the Joy to be in the Truck Series. I feel like more NASCAR Cup Series drivers should take a step into the Truck Series. We saw Kyle Larson do it last year, and many more have done it in the past. So I think it's great for him.
Well,
Alex, I can't believe you messed up Joe Gibbs Racing. I can't believe you did that. You said JRG, not JGR.
Oh my bad.
no, it's all good. No, it's funny you say that about, you think it's a good step for him in the Truck Series, and we talked about this last season. This comes after the comments that he made before the season started last year about not wanting to run the Truck Series, but he ended up running more Truck Series races last year than he did Cup Series races. And Ryan, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, yeah, he only ran like 5 cup races, so he definitely ran more in trucks.
Yeah. Cobra, do you have an opinion on this? I don't know if you know who Corey LaJoie is, but how do you feel about the Roush 99 coming back?
So I have heard Corey LaJoie. It's not like I haven't turned myself completely off of racing, but it's great to see Roush 99 was Jeff the pink fuchsia black Exide batteries car. So that was a very long time ago to see the number 99 in Roush. So it's very exciting to see the number 99 back where it belongs under Roush Racing. It's still good, and if I remember correctly, Roush is still under Ford, so that should be good. It should return home.
Yep.
So I'm excited about it. As anyone could be.
Well, don't forget that Carl Edwards ran the 99 too for Roush.
Yeah, I did forget about it, but yeah, it's been quite a while.
Ryan, what about you? What do you think about this news?
Well,
He's got a helmet.
I am obviously very excited about the 99 coming back.
He's got a helmet.
He had a helmet within a very short walk.
Yep.
Just on the other side of the room, but
He went to the brain slug planet. He walked around with a helmet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Roush does with a 4-car fleet. I will say the Henderson Motorsports announcement was kind of odd because of just the fact that obviously that team doesn't get a whole lot of manufacturer support. But that's a Chevy truck team to pair with his Ford in the Roush Fenway Keselowski car. So that's just an interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Again, I think it works because of the fact that obviously Henderson doesn't get much, if any,
Penske runs
support.
I'm sorry, Cobra. What was that?
I was about to say it's not. I was saying it's not really unusual for multiple for a manufacturer. Excuse me, for an owner to go to different manufacturers. Penske ran Ford, ran Dodge and Honda. So it's especially in F1, so it's not surprising.
Well, yeah, but
that's a very different scenario.
Yeah, in NASCAR, it's very unusual to see one driver sign with a team and then run with another team that might be a different manufacturer.
Especially in the same weekend. Like, it'd be one thing if, like for example, last year when Honeycutt got canned at Chevy and then ended up going and making the swap to Toyota mid-season.
Yep.
But he didn't make that swap until after Chevy had canned him. It wasn't like he was racing for. Yeah.
I do apologize to our viewers. I am having technical difficulties.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't know if you guys seen it or not too, but the RFK cars are running the Greg Biffle font for Daytona.
And Colleague.
And Colleague, especially the 16, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad to see at least the Roush cars honoring Greg Biffle that way. And they have a display set up right as you walk into their race shop up in Charlotte, honoring Greg Biffle. And hopefully when I go to Charlotte in May, I will get to go to RFK and see that. But let's go to Eli, get his thoughts.
Same guy there at Kyle Busch at Pocono. I mean, I will agree with Ryan on one thing. He actually said something smart, and I was really shocked. It really touched me there. It is good to see the 99 back there.
Yep.
I am. I'm glad to see that. Positive there. But other than that, I mean, this is the same guy who sat there and said, he doesn't want to race in the lower series. He's not about that. He doesn't come to play with that. He wants to be out there on Sunday. Yet, it's not obviously what happened. But I mean, the guy hasn't done anything. I mean, that's what it boils down to. The guy hadn't done anything. Everybody talks about Atlanta, right? Atlanta. Well, I'm sorry, but you can only run that into the ground so much. As far as being in the truck series, though, I do think that is positive. I think that is great reinforcement for maybe getting back into the Cup series, but you have to do something to be in the Cup series. And as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen him do anything in the Cup series. So.
Well, and another thing to note is I believe it is only a one-race deal. It's not like he's getting a full-time opportunity in the truck series. So I don't think one race in the truck series is going to be enough to help him really relaunch that Cup career unless he leads every lap in the truck race at Daytona, which that is a stacked truck field with Tony Stewart and Mike McDowell and others. That is going to be a stacked field for him to compete against.
Yep. And we all know that Henderson is one of those underfunded teams, and they only run a handful of races a year to begin with.
And that's why I said that I don't think the manufacturer thing will be as big of a storyline as it otherwise would have been, because that's a team that doesn't have a whole lot of manufacturer support, if any, to start with.
Right. And I mean, when the news came out today, it kind of threw me off guard, because when I see the 75 Henderson truck, I think of Parker Kligerman. And I know Parker Kligerman stepped away from full-time and all that stuff, but he still ran a couple of races last year for that team. And so it was kind of shocking to me to see him not in that truck for Daytona. But let's go to Jayme. What do you think?
So I have a little bit of a different viewpoint on
What's
this.
going on with this network?
When it comes to Corey LaJoy, it's a weird thing for him. He's not the type of driver that is going to light the world on fire. But for a driver like him to not have a full-time ride is kind of weird. And at this point, I think he's understood any type of exposure that he can get, whether it be truck, whether it be cup, hell, even if it's a Xfinity race. Get more races under your belt, show them what you can do on the different levels, and he'll get his opportunities. He's a guy who, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's like a back office thing, but there are plenty of drivers that are worse than he is. And like I said, he's not a driver that's going to light the world on fire. But I don't understand how he doesn't get better opportunities than what he's been the past few years.
Go ahead, Ryan.
So I will say one thing that I think definitely hurts his prospects of getting a full-time ride, or if you look back to his comments about the Truck Series last year, when he said that he doesn't want to be in, he wants to be racing on Sundays. So I guarantee that burned some bridges with him and a fair amount of the, especially contending truck teams, because I could see him very much filling kind of that Justin Allgaier or Matt Crafton type role of kind of a truck or Xfinity Series guy who could potentially build a full career in one of those series, or at the very least be a bridge so that one of these teams isn't having to rush prospects through the ranks too quickly, because there's been a lot of that in recent years, and you can point to any number of prospects. I mean, specifically, I think Toyota would have been a great spot for him to be a bridge guy to basically not have to promote some of these young guys, like give Sawalich a little bit more time to develop before moving him up to Xfinity.
I know you're talking about just more like the truck side of things, but given his time and tenure, like I don't blame him for saying that he only wants to run on Sundays. That's more of like an ego thing. Like anybody who is in the Cup Series, like obviously I'm gonna want to only race on Sundays. I'm not gonna want to have to go all the way back to the truck just to prove myself.
Well,
I don't want to have to go all the way back to Xfinity just to prove myself.
Well, the argument there is, looking at the 36 chartered cars, you'd be pretty hard pressed to find many drivers that you'd put LaJoy in over them. Like, what? Maybe Ty Dillon, Cody Ware, and Riley Herbst would be about the list.
I would put Corey LaJoy in a car before I would Cody Ware. I'm sorry.
Yeah, those are the three guys I said that I would probably put him in over.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so, listing off like the chartered cars. Who
I will say this.
Over. Like,
and
he's not gonna he's not gonna bump an Allmendinger, given Allmendinger's specialty on the road courses.
What about Austin Dillon?
I don't know. I feel like Austin Dillon has, for the most part, earned his place. I mean, he's been able to, obviously discount what happened at the end, but if that race didn't go into overtime, he dominated the last two Richmond races in a row. We've never really seen that kind of speed from LaJoy ever, let alone...
Was he ever in that car or with that team?
Well, yeah, you could make that argument.
I'm sorry. Hang on. Are you saying you want to put someone in an RCR car? That's an abomination of a statement.
I mean, yeah, I think that would be an improvement upon. Wait, was LaJoy part of that team? Didn't he get that one race in the 9 car?
Yes, he filled in for Chase
kind
Elliott.
Of fell flat. I mean, obviously it's one race sample size isn't a lot.
I do have one thing I would like to say after everybody gets done.
No, you're good, Eli. Real quick. So no, Ryan, I get what you're saying. Yes, LaJoy did fill in for Chase Elliott for one race when Chase Elliott
Yeah.
broke his leg, and the other races were filled in by it was Jordan Taylor at Coda,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the races were Josh Berry.
Yeah.
Now Josh Berry did absolutely horrible to start, but as he got more experience in the car, he
that's
got
why
better.
I think
And-
the one race sample
Right,
size is way too
right.
small.
LaJoy didn't get enough seat time right there, but to counter that, LaJoy only shows up really on the super speedways. Like he is a fantastic super speedway racer, like your Michael McDowell,
Yeah.
And the closest he's ever come to winning a race was Atlanta back in, I believe it was 2022, the summer race. And I'm sorry, Jayme, but it was a dirty block by Chase Elliott that wrecked him going into turn one and, virtually ended the race.
No, I agree on that. You don't have to say sorry to me.
Other than that, I agree with what Denny Hamlin said in a race. He just can't really seem to get out of his own way. And the race that I'm talking about is the race where he just randomly happened to flip himself over going down the backstretch at Michigan.
Yep.
Hey, guys, I have to step out. I have the funny feeling that my network is causing issues, so I will have to step out.
No, you're fine, buddy. You're fine. We got it from here.
Thank you for having me once again.
No, you're good. But, I agree with what Hamlin said. He just can't seem to get out of his own way.
Yeah.
He honestly, to me, he causes more issues on track than passing cars. But before we continue, let's get what Eli has to say. He's been patiently waiting.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Corey LaJoy person. I've already expressed that. But sitting here thinking about it, I think there's one thing I personally think that Corey LaJoy does pretty daggum good at. When Prime does their broadcast and at the end and they're sitting at a little desk, he's pretty damn good at drinking beer. He can fulfill that role. I like that role. I think he should do that for the rest of his career, and I will never have another problem with him.
I will say, though, he probably could do without the 500 pounds of makeup he had, at least in that first TV appearance for Prime.
He did have a lot of makeup.
Him and Carl Edwards, for that matter.
Well, yeah, but on Carl Edwards, it wasn't anywhere nearly as pronounced as the amount of angles on his face. Looked like someone went and 3D printed a version of him out.
Yeah, no, I agree with Eli's statements. Like, I watched all of the races on Prime last year. Hopefully, I'm able to watch them this year. But he did a fantastic job doing the analyst style portion of what he needed to do because he has been in those cars before.
Yeah.
Carl Edwards, he was good. It was good to see cousin Carl back and all that, but he's never set foot in one of these cars. And
maybe he should.
Right. And, exactly. And that's one of the things that, like, I'm a diehard Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, but he has never driven one of these cars except for a test at Bowman Gray. So he has no clue, no idea how the cars handle and all that. He's basically like feeding off of information given to him by everybody else. Corey LaJoy, on the other hand, has driven the cars and knows what they can do and cannot do. And I think, like what Eli said, he fits more of the analyst role than the driver role, in my opinion.
He knows they cannot go down the back straightaway at Michigan without flipping.
Yep, without
you can't go ride at Pocono.
Yeah, without randomly bouncing off a car,
But yeah, going back though to what we mentioned with the comments about it, his comments about the truck series. To me, if I'm in a lower tier Cup team, even I would also be potentially off put a little bit by some of those comments, just being like, okay, if we bring him in and he does get an opportunity from a Rick Ware Racing, or from a Richard Childress, is he going to take that first opportunity to go and badmouth us the same way he badmouthed the truck teams that absolutely are a fundamental part to getting to where he's at?
Yep. Now, I get where everybody is coming from on this, like, Jayme's comments and all that. Like, the goal is to run in the Cup Series, right?
But there's limited seats.
Right. But correct me if I'm wrong, but when Corey joined Spire Motorsports, I don't recall him running any of the lower series whatsoever. He just went straight to Cup.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, mind you, it was an underfunded team that didn't have a lot of support and all that good stuff. And he did what he had, or he did what he did with the equipment that he had. And there were, little flashes in the pan and all that good stuff. But then he wants to go out and make the comments about running the lower series and stuff like that. I honestly think he may need a reality check and may need to get humbled a little bit. I think he needs to go run the lower series for a full season, whether it be trucks or the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, and see how those guys compete and see how they're fighting tooth and nail to get their name known and get to the Cup Series. And if you can go to the lower series and prove that you belong, then you can get a Cup Series ride. That's just how I feel about it, though. Anybody else? Good? Okay. All right.
Well, real quick,
right.
I'm going to pull up I'm just pulling up the roster of drivers, and it's like, really, I mean, I do struggle to see who LaJoie would potentially replace on this list. I mean, again, I think Austin Dillon has earned his place at RCR, and not Family Connection, not even withdrawing, which obviously the Family Connection will help any driver keep that ride. Then it's like, okay, Noah Gregson at Front Row Motorsports. Maybe LaJoie is better there. Suarez at Spire Motorsports. I think that partnership's too new to really give a hard, firm answer. But also, would Spire want him back? Who knows? Ty Dillon, I already suggested that was one driver he could probably take a ride from. Then you go Allmendinger, no. Briscoe, Bell, no. Barry, no. Logano, obviously not. Bubba, no. Byron, no. Gillen, no. Herbst, probably. If it wasn't for money, he probably could get that one. Zane Smith in the 38, probably not. Cole Custer, maybe that one if it wasn't for his family ties to Haas.
Yep.
Nemechek, no.
Okay, I have an interesting thing on the Cole Custer thing.
All right.
I honestly think that Corey LaJoie is better than Cole Custer. Yes, Cole Custer is an Xfinity Series champion. I get that 100%. But Cole Custer won the Kentucky race in 2020. After that, his first top 5 since winning that race was the summer race at Daytona last season.
Yeah,
5 years without a top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, and I could see that being a seat that if it wasn't for the fact that team only really exists because of his family ties to Haas, because like his dad is like Gene Haas's right-hand man. Right. And that's literally, I think, the only reason they still even have a singular charter at this point.
Yep. Well,
then it's like, okay.
Judging by the contracts and the seats and all that, like I get there's probably going to be a lot of seats maybe opening up at the end of 2026. But realistically, the only maybe 2 cars that I could see Corey LaJoie going in would be replacing Noah Gregson at FRM, which would probably be more feasible. And 2, I hate to say it, but Alex Bowman in the 48. But he's going to have a ton of money to get into Hendrick Motorsports full time because Bowman's contract is up at the end of 2026, and they haven't said anything about a contract renewal yet.
Well, and I think that's going to get into talking about, I mean, if we're looking at other drivers, though, I mean, I think there's going to be better candidates. Because, I mean, obviously, one that both Eli and I are going to be fairly invested in throughout the year is Kyle Busch's opportunities. And if I'm Hendrick Motorsports, I'm taking a chance on Kyle Busch long before I'm looking at Corey LaJoie. I mean, no disrespect to Corey LaJoie, Kyle Busch is better.
Yes, 100%. But
I think I'd take Bowman over both of them, though, honestly. And that's coming from a Kyle Busch fan.
But I hate to say it, and I hate to break it to both of you guys. If Hendrick does not re-sign Bowman for a contract extension, the person that I think is going in the 48 in 2027 is Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, I could see that. Again, is Hocevar's contract up at the end of this year? Because I didn't have him.
I think it is, but he's a young talent, and Hendrick has been on this rebuild for the last few years with, you know, all of their big guns retired, Jimmy and Jeff and Dale Jr. and all that. And so they've been rebuilding it with all these younger drivers. Carson Hocevar right now technically is one of the youngest drivers in the Cup Series field. He's really, really good. He just needs to quit stepping on his toes.
Well, but that's the thing I look at when it comes to Spire Motorsports. If they're looking to become a real team, which obviously when they bought up those charters and started running 3 full-time cars, to me that was a commitment that, hey, we're going to actually build a team here. And to me, I see Hocevar as that star that they might be trying to lock in and try and keep him for a while. And if they can work out some of the kinks that cost them some runs, I mean, he probably could have won 2, 3, 4 races last year in Spire Motorsports equipment, which if you can work out some of those kinks, get him 2, 3 wins in your equipment, I don't see why Spire wouldn't want to try and keep him. And obviously Hendrick could offer a boatload of cash and money talks, but
yeah. No, I agree.
That seems like the kind of guy that Spire would throw all their bags of cash at, because, I mean, McDowell probably isn't tying up too much money, and Suarez almost certainly isn't tying up much, if any, pennies there.
Yeah. No, I mean, Carson Hocevar could have won the spring Atlanta race.
Exactly.
I mean, had that yellow flag not come out there at the end, he was going to win that race.
Yeah, there was a number of those. I mean, how many times did he run out of fuel while leading late in the race? Because, like, Michigan, he ran out of fuel with, what, like 6 laps to go?
Yeah. Or no, he had a flat tire, didn't he?
Oh, was that flat tire?
Yeah, I think the Michigan race last year
that he ran out of gas in late?
I think so. I think the Michigan race, we had a lot of tire issues.
Okay. But still, it was like, okay, it was a lot of just kind of technical stuff going wrong.
Yeah.
That kept him out of a lot of wins. I mean,
yeah.
Again, Atlanta, Coke 600, and Michigan. That's 3 wins right there that he could have gotten with reliability and a little luck.
Right. But we are going to move on to our next topic, and it is a very, very big topic, as you can see by the hat that Mr. Ryan is wearing. The Roval is no more. It was announced today that Charlotte Motor Speedway or NASCAR will not be running the Bank of America Roval 400. They will be going back to the traditional oval in the fall chase race, not playoffs, chase race in 2026 and beyond. Now, we don't know yet if it's going to be a 400 or 500 miler. That those details haven't been released, but I personally am super excited because I'm sorry, Ryan, I hated the Roval. You guys have known my stance on it. The first 1 or 2 years was cool, but it was terrible after that. But
who's going to moderate this?
There's no moderating. I'm just going to go one by one. We're going to start with Alex.
I do think this was a good move by NASCAR. I feel like we need to have a rotation of taking out tracks that are not as big anymore. And I feel like the Roval has kind of died off, and I feel like we need to go away from that. Like if they're going back to traditional oval. I personally think it's going to be a 500-mile track that could play big into maybe like a final stretch chase one and see, who can get to that final like chase into the championship. So I think it's a good option. It's a good opinion to have, and I think it's a good move. I think it's going to happen more and more as the years go on. More tree races or undermining tracks are going to get changed and rebooted just to adapt and change with the times.
I agree. All right, I'm going to switch it up real quick. Let's get Jayme's thoughts before we go to Eli and Ryan, because I know for a fact a debate is coming. So, Jayme, what you got?
The Roval got stale. Case in point, that track got stale, and I would say them taking the Roval off is the essence of having too many road courses in a season. It is the thing that, like, yes, it is nice to have drivers on the roster like SVG and Allmendinger, and then you throw in like Kyle Busch and guys like that who do really well on road courses. But the overall forcing, and that's what I'm going to call it, the forcing of having 5 to 6 different road courses spread out amongst the season was just too much. Now, was Roval one of the better road courses? Maybe, depending on which one you put it up against. Are there some other road courses I wish that they would just scratch off and give some of these better tracks a double date? Yes. But at the same time, I think this is a step in the right direction. Yes, it may suck for some on here to have the Roval off, but if they're making a statement where they can make one, the Roval is the only one that makes sense to do it to, because there's already a track there. They don't have to change the date. There's all the logistics, everything that they don't have to change.
Well, yeah,
Everyone
Roval
who
is
bought
the only
tickets for
one
that
we're gonna be
now
able to
are
change
going
this
to
thing going for 2026.
right. But everyone who
Although-
already bought tickets for this race are now going to be blessed with an oval course that is going to be a 400 to 500 mile race, which, in my opinion, brings more action. But I think this is a statement maker that hopefully in 2027 there's going to be significantly less road courses. I'm hoping, but that's my piece on it.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get to Eli and Ryan, have you guys noticed a trend here lately with all of these changes that NASCAR is making, kind of going back to the, the traditional stuff that we know and love, or I mean, maybe not necessarily love for some fans' opinions, but all of this is coming after Steve Phelps resigned from the company? I mean, could it have been him making some influence on some of this stuff?
But it's
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing. For like the toxicity is now out, so they can make the right changes to make the sport better and make it improve it for long term instead of, cut it back short term.
Right, right. No, I agree. But
But I mean, when we did our post lawsuit thing, I even specified that almost every person who took the stand for both sides seemed to cite that it was Jim France getting in the way of a lot of stuff. So,
yeah,
I mean, obviously Phelps being gone, I think some of this also could just be other lawsuit stuff. Like, obviously, I don't think there's any secret. Denny Hamlin kind of sucks at road course racing, so less of those will make it easier for Hamlin, and I'm sure he is not unhappy to see less road courses.
yeah. But let's go ahead and get Eli's thoughts, and I will return in 1 minute. So I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. First off, I just want to say, Alex and Jayme, I think your input was very smart. I think it was very intel, and I think not much I really disagree with what both of you guys said. I think that was a very well constructed thought and viewpoint. Second off, looking at the Roval, and this is the first point before I go into these points and series of points I'll bring up. Charlotte Motor Speedway sits 95,000 people. That's capacity right there. Okay. Now SMI will not publicly disclose attendance rates. They quit doing this after 2011, April, May. I know it was after the Bristol race, so I'm going to say
Well,
May.
announced a sellout,
And a lot of that was a recession thing. They didn't want to disclose that. But point number one, the Roval does not put ass in seats. Point blank. It doesn't. Like it doesn't.
Well,
But
yeah.
like there's just no way to make that look better. Point number one. Also, the oval race, especially with how good Charlotte is now, that does put ass in seats. That sells out. That's great marketing. That's
I'd be
great business,
curious if the
first off.
non-holiday weekend would still be able to sell out, and that's something I am curious to see with the September date for the Oval. I am curious to see if that's.
I don't think it will sell out like the Coke 600. No, I don't think it'll sell out to that extent. But I promise you, you can do better than 35,000 fans there.
I'm
I know
almost
you
willing.
can.
I'm almost willing to bet since this announcement, there's going to be a lot more ticket sales for them going back to the Oval for the fall race.
Yeah.
Second case of point. 2018. That was a great oval race. I was there. It was fun to watch. 2019, kind of the same thing. And then 2020, we had rain. It was rain and it was disgusting and it was the COVID year. Okay. It's gotten stale to Jamie's point. This race is stale. It just is. It's what it is. Now, I'm not saying it's the roast worst like I'm not saying it's worst of the worst because it's not. But the big thing that I've been reading over the past few hours on this decision is that, and someone can tell me if I'm wrong, there's no road course right now in the chase, correct?
No, there is none.
Okay.
Roval was the
I
one.
I don't like that. I think that there does need to be a road course in the chase.
All right, we agree on
So
that one. There we go. Something we agree
I
on.
I think it should be Watkins Glen. Maybe not, but I
would
think it
support
should.
that.
But either way, like no matter how you feel about this, it boils down to this was not good business. This did not put ass in seats, and they had to try something new. They had to do something to fix this problem. Now, if we get here in September and it's not putting ass in seats, and I think the racing will be significantly better than the Roval. I mean, that wouldn't be hard to do, but I think it will be. But for some odd reason, if we were in another dilemma like this, then okay, go back to the drawing board. If you want to alternate it, if you want to go road course one year, oval another year to
Yeah.
kind of accommodate
I would
that,
support that.
look at your options then. But we gave the Roval a chance. We've seen what it can do. We've seen its prime, and we know where we're at now. So the thing that everybody asked before was give the Roval a chance, and we did. So now I think it needs to be roles reversed. Give the second oval date a chance. And
Yep.
before I end it off here, Greg, you said something about Steve Phelps.
Yes.
Okay, good. I hope he enjoys his retirement. Go for Steve O'Donnell next. Go for him. Go for the heads.
Yep. No, I agree. Before we get to Ryan's thoughts, I want to say this real quick. Um, if you look at the two dates, the Coke 600 and the fall race, the Coke 600 starts in the day or the early evening, ends at night, but it is also Memorial Day weekend. Most of the time, right around that time, it's very hot up in Charlotte. Like I've been to multiple Coke 600s where it was 95 plus degrees and it only got down to about 87, 86 degrees by the time the race was over. The track is slick, it's hot, and all that stuff. Drivers are fighting for
I'd
grip.
love some of that temperature up here.
Well, yeah. I think we all would right now. And it puts on a really good race, especially with these cars. For whatever reason, like the next gen cars are fantastic on the mile and a half. Okay, but then you go to the fall race, which is what, September, October timeframe.
Yeah, October.
Right. Okay. So you have a 50-50 shot of it either being kind of warm or it's cool and the track has more grip. And these drivers can put the damn pedal to the metal and like probably put on a fantastic race on the oval. And that's me personally. And I know a lot of fans that I've seen on social media. That's what we've been wanting. We want a night race at Charlotte in the fall. I hope that they put it back at nighttime like it used to be.
Yeah, I'm guessing the time is probably going to be sticking at 3 p.m. for at least this year.
Well, I'm hoping that they change that and make it an absolute night race because, in the September, October time range, it gets dark a little bit earlier. So, yeah, they may start it when it may be dusk and then it's going to be dark by the end of stage one, if I had to guess. But
Okay, I won't enter. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say I want to see these drivers just putting on an absolute haymaker of a fight in this race if it's at nighttime.
So this is what I have been told from a source that I trust very closely. I'm not going to disclose who or who this person is with, but just about everything I have gotten this person from has been accurate, and these details have been confirmed at some point in time whenever I have been given information. Um, this is what I was told when I asked the question about it, because there was a question also regarding ticket sales for that event. As the way things look right now, Bank of America will keep that sponsor date. It will be a 400-mile event, and it is going to be 3:30 on the USA channel.
Okay, so it'll be moving back half an hour then from the previously announced start time.
Okay, well, I guess I can live with that because I think it's still going to be a great race, honestly. But, Ryan, what do you got?
All right, so first and foremost, just to be consistent with it, I've actually been advocating a couple of times on here when we've talked about trying to get rid of the Roval in the past. I've said I would very much be in support of Charlotte Motor Speedway having 3 dates, 2 on the oval and keeping the Roval there, because there really is not another track, I don't think, that really races like the Roval. And that's one of the reasons why I've been a big proponent for it. Now, if they do go to a rotating every other year type of thing, or every couple of years, like 2 years on the oval, 1 year on the Roval, I think that would be a great compromise to keep the Roval layout around, because I also think that I think the the Roval type layout would be a way to try and introduce in double headers with stuff like maybe the IMSA Sports Car Series, or maybe they do something with the IndyCar Series, like what they're doing at Phoenix this year. And let's just be honest, it's a whole lot easier to sell IndyCar specifically, and even IMSA, on doing a double header if you're doing it at a road track versus a oval track. I mean, IndyCar will never race that 1.5 mile at Charlotte ever again, given what happened one of the last times that they were there. Not to mention some of the other tragedies that don't need to be brought back up at 1.5 milers.
Right. No, I agree. I see where you're
So
coming from.
that was one of the things, like, especially because they did that kind of install lap with Joseph Newgarden at the Roval when they redesigned it in, I think it was 19 or I think it was 2019. They had the IndyCar champion doing an install lap there. So again, I like that for the potential to overlap. Now, again, if it is on a rotation, I think that's a great compromise and a great mix between the two, because I see I very much see a potential for the oval to end up getting stale, especially if they go and try and mess with the cars again, because it seems like every time they try and fix one problem, they create another one when it comes to the cars. At first, it was the fact that the mile and a halves were boring, so they started adding road courses to the schedules. Then they tried to make cars that were built for road courses, and suddenly mile and a half racing got a whole lot better.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree with one thing that you said. I would, if they go to a rotating, alternating back and forth, I would love to see a doubleheader between NASCAR and IndyCar at the Roval.
Yeah.
And I did see rumors today, nothing from credible sources, obviously, but I'm taking this with a grain of salt on this, and you guys should too. I saw a rumor saying that they may try to do a Roval style race at Phoenix in the next couple of years. I personally don't want to see it, but it is a very big possibility.
Now, is NASCAR at Phoenix a great product? Not really. IndyCar at Phoenix, now that is electric.
You are correct on that.
Was better before the repave, but
right,
that's
but
neither here nor there.
But mind you, this year at Phoenix is they're running the new packages for NASCAR, the 750 horsepower package with the short track package at the same time, because the new horsepower package is for mile tracks and under.
Yep.
Now, we talked about that in the last a few months ago, last season and stuff. And I'm gonna, we got all our thoughts on this. I'm actually going to transition into that about the new short track package or 750 horsepower package. They had a test at North Wilkesboro a couple weeks ago.
Before we move off of Charlotte, I did have one more thing I wanted to bring up.
Sure, go ahead.
If we're talking specifically from a marketing and business standpoint, and this is something I've complained about when we've seen changes, but why have we not just moved the All-Star race back to Charlotte at this point? I mean, I get that when they tried to move it to Bristol, that was one, I believe that was a COVID thing, and also two, it was a thing of Bristol and short tracks at the time were really exciting and we wanted more of them. And ultimately the race fell pretty flat. Then they went to Texas for 2 years? Now they're going to Dover. It's like, why not just go back to Charlotte? The racing has been much better there in recent years. It gives you a 2-week kind of break for the teams when it comes to travel to be able to spend those 2 weeks at home with their families. I mean, it just makes a lot of logistical sense. Would save the teams a fair bit of money too.
Yep. I agree.
Do that and give me my points race back.
That I would absolutely agree. I don't want to see Dover completely scrapped. I just don't want to see it with an all-star date.
Yep. No, I agree 100%. They need to take the all-star race back to Charlotte, make the 10 days of Thunder again, where you have trucks the weekend of the all-star race, and then they do the all-star open on Saturday, all-star race Sunday night, or however they did it.
That could be little interesting because right now they have all 4 series racing on Memorial Day weekend, Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday with ARCA, Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. So if you're
I get that they adjusted the schedule for that, but back before they moved the All-Star race from Charlotte, it was the 10 Days of Thunder. They had the truck race the weekend of the All-Star race.
Yeah,
and then it was
Memorial Day weekend flat out off.
Yes, and then Memorial Day weekend it was.
I also completely forgot North Wilkesboro hosted the All-Star race for the last 2 years.
Right.
When I was given that timeline of the All-Star race bouncing around. And North Wilkesboro wasn't a bad option, but at that point, the short track racing product everybody knew was kind of in shambles.
Yeah. No, but, speaking of North Wilkesboro, they did a test a couple of weeks ago at North Wilkesboro with the new horsepower package. And I was listening to Sirius XM NASCAR radio, and they had a bunch of drivers call in after the test. And the drivers said they felt slight of a difference, but not much. But after 40 or 50 laps is when they really started to feel the difference after the tire fall off. But in my opinion, and this was what a couple of the drivers said too, North Wilkesboro was not the place to do this test because they just did a fresh repave not too long ago.
Yeah.
And so the asphalt is pretty much brand new. You're not going to get a whole bunch of tire fall off. And who was it? Larry McReynolds said it best. He thinks that the best place that we're going to see this horsepower package and short track package come into play where it literally puts it back in the hands of the drivers is going to be Darlington.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And obviously we got Darlington coming up this spring, which has some changes that we should probably address.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to get to that too.
Yeah, just figured good segue here.
No, you're good. But like I said, I don't think North Wilkesboro was the place to do it. I think they honestly should have done it somewhere else that had more aged asphalt. Let's say maybe in Martinsville or Darlington or
Phoenix.
Phoenix, yes. Granted travel costs and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
but
But
You're
they've done
trying-
tire tests at Phoenix before.
Right, but you're trying to get information and data for this new package to set your car up for those upcoming races. I know North Wilkesboro is going to be a points paying race this year, but that honestly was not the place to do it, because you're going to go into the 2026 season with almost a blank notebook. I don't know. Alex, what do you think?
No, I definitely agree. I do think that with North Wilkesboro having new asphalt, it was not the right place to do it. I do think Phoenix, Mary Darlington would have been a better option. So obviously, NASCAR is adjusting to more horsepower, better cars to adapt to the fast changing of how society is moving with NASCAR. Obviously, the next gen cars, the faster tracks, the higher horsepower with the the better engine and stuff. So I think they should have done it on an older track to get more data. And I feel like this is a bad move by NASCAR. And they're gonna look at this and be like, "What went wrong? What's up,
Wasn't
Ryan?"
Darlington also just repaved like a couple of years ago? I remember. I feel like it was like 2 years ago that McDowell hit a slick part that they had just repaved on Darlington that wrecked him out of the race.
I don't think Darlington's done a full repave in a number of years.
And I say maybe they just repaved that one corner, but I definitely remember it was fresh asphalt that sent McDowell out of a race at I believe it was in the Southern 500. That he hit a patch of new asphalt, and the transition to it just took him out of the race.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I can say with almost certainty that they haven't done a full repave in a long time. Like, that asphalt is pretty old.
All right.
Jayme, what about you?
When it comes to like the horsepower, like I'm looking forward to seeing it be more in the driver's control. I think one of the downfalls to last season is it because of the horsepower, there wasn't much of a knock if a driver oversteered the car a little bit or got into the gas too early. These are all little minor components that truly show the difference between the great drivers and the good drivers. And if we are going to see higher horsepower at these short tracks, it's going to make tire management more of a thing. It's going to make the better drivers have to think more. A mistake is easier to have if you get into the gas too quickly and you are trying to make up that time because of traffic. I think it's going to make for better racing, but at the very same time, I hope it works. I hope it works, because if this isn't the answer, then I don't know what that means for short track racing.
Yeah, I mean, more horsepower was like the very last change. It felt like they tried everything else before it.
Yep. Well, mind you, it's not just short tracks; it's also road courses too. But before we go to Eli, I do want to ask this question too, and this has been a question that's been in my mind ever since we went to the next gen car. You know, we had the road course and short track package, then you had the immediate track package and the super speedways. Bristol is a short track, but they were running the intermediate package. Are they going to run this new higher horsepower package with the short track package or aerodynamic package at Bristol? Or are they going to keep it just the intermediate? Because we all know Bristol's been kind of stale the last couple of years too. Other than the little
They
fluke
should run
race,
at Bristol.
Other than the fluke race with the tire issues in 2024.
Yeah, and in particular, night race.
Yeah,
Night
that's the big question that's been on my mind about that is, are they going to run this new stuff at Bristol too? Yeah. But
I think everybody here would agree that they should.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Eli, what about you?
Well, that's a lot of stuff to break down, but I'll condense it. So starting off with the tire or the horsepower test at Wilkesboro, that's a tough place to really plan one out. Phoenix is, I mean, it's expensive. Martinsville, you said the pavement was older, and it is, but it's not. It's not like that old. Darlington would have been an interesting place to do it, but then again, I don't know if that's the correct answer either. If I could pick somewhere, it would have been Richmond.
Yeah,
That would have
Richmond
been
has some old
my
pavement.
take on it. But I mean, Wilkesboro was fine. Uh,
I love
as far
Richmond.
as increasing the horsepower, we won't know till we wait. I mean, I,
You don't really see it.
I, as much as I advocated for it, we have to give it a chance before we can make up our mind on it. We can't just go off one test run at Wilkesboro. I still think more horsepower is needed, but I mean, until we have all of the results from this package laid out here at the end of the season, we don't know where to really go from there. So that's more of a waiting game. And then as far as short tracks, you brought up the point. If this doesn't work, then what do you do for short tracks? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not the track's fault. We've been over that 100,000 times. And the next gen car is so dynamic in a lot of ways because it kind of just got put out in front of us there at the end of 2021. We're like, okay, here's the car. Uh, and then in 2022, it was like, all right, go at it. And I think there's so many engineering flaws with this car. It's not one you can just fix. It's not a one and done. It's a puzzle. And like Jayme said, there's so much micro detail to making the car work and showing and showcasing a driver's talent. So, if this doesn't work for short tracks, I don't think there's much more you can do until you start looking at the next gen car as a whole and going, okay, this was a bad idea. And I think they start to realize that more and more and more as this
Well,
next gen run plays out.
and
I
that's
mean,
the
I
thing.
cannot tell you how many engineers I have talked to with inside the sport that will tell you this was a complete and utter disaster. Um,
Yeah, that's one of the things I've looked at a couple of times when we've talked about this is like how long a generation, even a failed generation, lasts. Like, I mean, even some of the issues with the COT when it came to like some of the flipping issues, it's like, yeah, they really didn't say it. It still took a decent amount of time to move. It still took them like what, close to a decade per generation of car to get
yeah, I
like
mean,
the
there's
new like eighth gen car, which we haven't heard any rumors about an eighth gen car.
No, no, not at all.
and just one last point on that with short tracks. Everybody, in which we had a whole segment on this back. It was before Phoenix actually, and sure enough, we all kind of cursed that race. Goodyear did what they were supposed to do with that tire, with that soft composite tire. Unfortunately, it doesn't really show much wear. It's kind of just okay. It's starting to give out, and then it's gone. But that right there is something too. I think they need to tweak that a little bit more. Because Bristol, like, it's so weird over the past few years because we had the fluke race, and then we had the Kyle Larson show, and then we had the Kyle Larson show again, and then we had the night race this past year, and it wasn't as bad as the spring race was with the tires cording, but it wasn't much better.
Yeah,
So
but when
they've
it
got
was
to.
at the last two night races, the product itself on the track was fairly dry.
So that right there should tell you all you need to know is if NASCAR is looking at the tires and trying to figure out, I guess, having these gimmicks. I'm going to call them gimmicks, rather if you agree with that or not, because that's in my opinion what they are. If your product is gimmicks to fit just to fix short track racing overall, that should tell you what you need to know about the next gen car is that there is something wrong with it, and they probably truthfully themselves don't even know where to go with how to re-engineer part of this. They don't.
Yep. But what about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, again, I kind of said it earlier. I feel like at this point, if this isn't the fix, I feel like we're kind of just stuck until we get this 8th generation car, which again hasn't even been rumored to be on the way, which would mean that we are probably at least 5 years out, I would say, from any sort of Gen 8 car. But I mean, I think the thing I would be looking at is I would almost say light and fast would be the thing I would want to see out of a potential new car, because yeah, the biggest thing with this car was that it was built to be big, heavy, and durable. And well, I feel like that weight, especially at the road courses and short tracks, have made it like at the short tracks, it's made the bump and run nearly impossible. Like name a next gen race where the bump and run has really worked at a short track.
I can't.
The cars
recall.
are just too heavy to bump out the way without junking someone.
Yeah,
And,
or not. Well, not to mention not only that, but the aerodynamics too. You can't even get up to the dude's bumper to bump him out of the way.
yeah, well, but that's the thing. Like, even if you just flat out like ignore the fact that like basically use the other guy's car as your brake pedal, flat out into the back bumper of him, even that most of the time isn't enough effort to move the guy off the bottom.
Right.
Like specifically at a place like Martinsville.
Brad Bell is a great example of that.
What was
Brad
that?
and Bell is a great example of that. Brad and Bell
Oh yeah, Brad and Bell
at Bristol this past year.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah. So that would be the thing I would want to see from NASCAR is like, obviously, don't compromise safety of the driver, but whatever you can do within keeping it safe to make these cars light and fast would be my kind of thing I would look to, because I think the lighter you can make the car and the faster you can allow it to move, one, it would be you'd be able to bump it out the way a little bit easier on the short tracks. I also think it would help with elevation changes in the road courses. So places like Road America or even the elevation change at Coda, which I am not the biggest Coda fan in the world. I think if you have to change a layout to make a track raceable, you start to kind of lose me, especially if it's an iconic track, which Coda isn't. That was more so a thing with the Daytona road course that I was annoyed with was don't change an iconic layout. If you can't race the proper one, don't run it.
Right. Well, looking at the schedule for 2026, obviously we have the Clash at Bowman Gray this weekend.
Yep.
Which I'm fairly certain they're running this new package there.
Yeah.
Even though it's only a quarter mile. But then after that, the next time that they're going to run it will be Coda on March 1st. And then right after that, the very next week, they'll run it at Phoenix. And then we'd have to wait until March 22nd at Darlington before I personally, honestly think we would get a true test of this package. So we got to wait a full 2 months from now before we really get a good determination on this new package.
Yeah, well, and again, that's one of the things where, like, with the light and fast idea as well, again, those are kind of my two keywords that I will probably go on and on about whenever we talk about next generation. It's like, okay, the lighter the car is, the easier it'll be for a small horsepower change to still make a big difference. Because, like, when you have a big, heavy car, it takes a lot more horsepower to make the same speed.
Yep.
Like, you go and double the weight of something and keep the horsepower the same. Shock and surprise, the car is going to be slower.
Yep. But I mean, it's one of those things. Like Eli said, we're just going to kind of have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Again, any sort of 8th gen car is still easily 5+ years out.
Right. But we are going to move on to our final segment of the evening. NASCAR is back, boys. We have the Clash at Bowman Gray this Sunday night, or should I say, to take the words from the great Ryan, the Clash at possibly Snowman Gray Stadium. Obviously, the entire, literally half the country was affected by a winter storm this past weekend, with the exception of probably Ryan, who just got some cold air up there up in Maine.
My guy isn't going to be here to plow our driveway till like 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah. But looking at the weather forecast,
But we do this a lot.
the models are putting out a potential snowstorm this weekend along the eastern seaboard, which would affect the Carolina area. So it has obviously they don't know anything yet. It is to be determined if this is actually going to happen or not. As of right now, the race is on. They did treat Bowman Gray with a brine salt solution over the weekend from this weekend's storm. And I shared a picture in our group chat earlier today of Bowman Gray this morning covered in snow and ice. And they were just getting ready to send the plows and scrapers out to clean the whole surface up to get ready for this weekend. And, as we were talking, that is the first test of the new short track road course package with the higher horsepower, aerodynamics, and whatnot. And but I'm excited. I saw Bob Parker's tweet this morning of the schedule for this weekend, and I was like, Bob, we've been waiting for this for about 3 months now. Some interesting notes, though. Brad Keselowski will not be racing in the Clash as he is still recovering from his broken leg from his ski trip during the off season. Did Ryan or Jayme or somebody, did they announce if there was a replacement for the 6 car, or did they just withdraw the 6 car? It is LaJoy? Okay.
Yeah, I believe we talked about this last time.
I don't remember. Okay, yeah. Corey LaJoy will be filling in the 6 car for Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, I believe that had been announced. I don't remember if him in the Daytona driving car 99. I think that was the part that was announced after.
Right. So Alex actually just shared this to our group chat, the schedule for this weekend. So on Saturday, it will be practice and qualifying at 6:10 p.m. Eastern time. And then from 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock, and 9:15 will be heat races 1 through 4 to basically set the field, eliminate some drivers, because it's open now. It's not just pole winners and past race winners. It's literally everyone. And then on Sunday at 6 p.m. will be the last chance qualifier race. And then at 8 p.m. it will be the actual Clash at Bowman Gray, 200 laps, winner take all. But for the first time in 2026, the Wheel of Destiny is back. 4 race picks. This is our first picks of the season. Yes, Ryan, what's up?
I know we had talked about it last year. Are there any changes to how we're doing race picks this year?
Okay, so race picks will go as follows. The points will be the same. It will be 20 points for your winner and an extra bonus point if your pick wins the race. And I know I said something about only being able to pick one driver one time. Ryan brought up a good point. I will allow you guys to pick the same driver twice this year until the chase starts. When the chase starts, it's free game. There's no limit on how many times you can pick a driver.
Okay, so you can pick the same driver in all 10 chase races?
If you want to.
Okay.
And so we have some newcomers to Race Picks this year. Alex, welcome to Race Picks 2026, as well as Mr. Eli. And I am going to spin the wheel right now. It is spinning. And the first pick of 2026 goes to Jayme. I'm sorry.
I probably won't select again. Joey Logano.
All righty. Joey Logano for Mr. Jayme. All right. Now, mind you, there are some drivers that will not make the race. So if your driver or your pick does not make the race, you will be allowed to pick again. And the next pick will go to Alex.
I'm trying to look up the field so I had an understanding of who might be able to like can pick.
Okay. I'll clarify this real quick. The Clash and the All-Star race are exhibition races, so these picks do not count towards your 2 picks for the year.
Okay.
So, like, if Jayme picked Joey Logano, he can pick Joey Logano 2 more times throughout the season.
All right.
I'm sorry. I should have clarified that. That's on me.
Yep, no worries. I was just making a spreadsheet for it, so
Right,
they'll track each person's usage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Kyle Busch.
Okay. All right. Next pick. We'll go to it's going to be Ryan.
All right. Well, it's going to go to me. We've only got Kyle Busch and Logano taken so far. Is it crazy to me to think that there should have probably been a Hendrick car taken at this point? I will go ahead and I will take the first one. I'll go ahead and make the first Hendrick driver of the year selected. Let's go William Byron.
All right. Good pick there. All right. 4th pick in the 2026 draft goes to Eli.
All right. I just locked it in. I used my $50 welcome back bonus bet from DraftKings for NASCAR. I locked it in on
sponsor.
Tyler Reddick. Not a sponsor. Gamble responsibly. 50 for 1,500. Give me Tyler Reddick.
All right. And just a formality here, as always, the 5th and final pick will go to me. And I am going with the winner of the 2025 Clash at Bowman Gray. I'm going with Chase Elliott.
Yep, good choice.
I hate to say it because I'm not really a Chase Elliott fan, but I think Chase Elliott has a comeback year in 2026.
Well, I actually was just working on a video today about all the drivers and what the expectations are for the year, and I really feel like both he and Bowman have kind of a lot to prove that, hey, I'm not the weak link here.
Yeah. I think
Elliott will
honestly
always have a lot more sustainability because of his name and the amount of merch sales he brings.
Yep.
When it comes to like moving off of a driver, but in terms of on track results, kind of similar to Bowman.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. I think if you look at all of the seats that are up this year, the 2 hottest seats right now are Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman seats. I think they got to prove themselves this year.
Wait, Elliott's on an expiring contract?
I don't know. I'm not saying an expired contract, but maybe like if another driver comes in with funding, they can buy out his contract.
Well, that'd be a lot of funding because I assume that the Napa money is going to go with.
No, I agree.
That would be a lot of funding to have to bring.
Yeah, I agree. But let me say this: if you put 2 and 2 together, Bowman's seat is hotter than Elliott's.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But that is going to close out our show this evening. Sorry that we had
trivia.
Well, okay, Jayme, do you have trivia for us tonight?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Okay. So before we close out, we're going to do the first Jayme's trivia of 2026. Now, I will remind you guys, because Alex and Eli are new to race picks, Jayme is going to ask us a trivia question, and we will go one by one giving an answer. If one of us gets it correct, we get a bonus point towards our race picks total for points. If we get it wrong, Jayme gets the bonus point. So, Jayme, what do you have for us tonight?
So, I was actually...
No Google machines allowed. Should be pretty obvious, but figured I'd restate that for the obvious.
Yeah.
That is...
I can't believe y'all tried forgetting Jayme, man.
Correct. I know. My thing said...
Thinking his internet forgot.
I think the internet forgot Jayme.
Jayme, you're cutting out there, sir.
Jamie, your Wi-Fi's not Wi-Fi, homeboy.
The hamsters got tired.
He must have the Brett Miller special over here.
Mr. Jayme, are you there?
He's coming back. He just typed
Oh,
that.
yeah, he said, I'm coming back. Hold on. All right. Anybody want to sing a song while we wait?
I mean, as I say, if Eli wants to talk about where we think our guy Kyle Busch is going to go while we wait, we can bring that.
I
back
hope
up.
to the house. I really do, dude. If we don't have a good season, I hope it's to the house.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I was thinking going in there is I don't really see a landing spot where Kyle Busch could really improve his standings because unless Hendrick really wants him back, I don't really see a better opportunity for him to go to a team that's really all that much better than RCR currently, and that's saying something.
Test. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you. All right. So back to our regularly scheduled program. Jayme, what trivia do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, so for Alex and for Eli, I know Eli's heard a few of them. Alex has not. What I tried to do is with these trivia questions, it is always related to something about the upcoming race. It could be about the track. It could be about a winner. It could be about a milestone. But in this case, it's going to be about weather.
Okay.
So, back, and before I say this, as Ryan stated, there will be no Googling. There will be no AI help. Hands up, hands free. And Ryan, put your phone down. I know you're feeling a little spicy today because of the Roval incidents, but put your phone down, sir. Eli, you're not on camera, so I have to take your trust you by your word. But
I don't got on a shirt.
Do you think we care?
That wasn't the part we were trusting.
But the last time that there was only one other time in NASCAR history that a race was postponed by snow. Spoiler alert, that is not the question. It was back in 2013. It was the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. It was scheduled for March 17th. It got delayed by snow, and they ended up having the race Monday, March 18th.
Was Martin?
My question to you guys.
Did that just not happen?
Which question?
My question to you guys.
Snow delay in Boyer one.
What's the question?
Who is the winner of the 2013 Food City 500?
I know this.
Well, you got to wait.
Okay. All right.
That was real.
Let's see. 2013. That was the first year of the Gen 6 car. Alex, you got a guess?
Go with Joey Logano.
All right. Ryan?
I'm going to go ahead and I will guess Kyle Busch. He did a lot of winning at Bristol, especially in that era.
Yep. I'm going to go with Kyle Busch as well. Eli?
No, it was Casey Kane.
Candy Cane?
Oh.
Eli is correct. It was Casey Kane in the number 5 Hendrick Motorsports Kellogg's Chevrolet.
Great clips. Was it Kellogg's?
Great clips. Correct.
I say the benefit of living right next to Bristol Motor Speedway, being able to actually go to all the races.
All right. Well, Eli is starting 2026
Thank you,
with a
Jayme.
1-point advantage already. So congratulations, sir. But that is going to
Now, hold on, Ryan. What did you say?
You said that was the only race that has ever been delayed due to snow. 2019 Martinsville, when Boyer won, that got delayed to a Monday due to snow as well.
Yep.
I specifically
So snow hit the area during race weekend, but
Yes.
the Cup race itself went on as scheduled after cleanup.
The Cup race went on as scheduled on a Monday.
Yeah, they did delay that Martinsville race to a Monday.
All right. Well, based on the sources that I went to, it said the only Cup race actually delayed by snow was 2013.
Because
it said, let me go back here.
I
It
think
says
your
snow
source
hit the
is
area.
wrong.
Snow hit the area during race weekend. Practice and qualifying were affected, but the Cup race itself still went on as scheduled after cleanup. That's what it told me.
Let's see here. 2019, Martinsville.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at 2018 Martinsville.
Ha!
Wait, was 2018? 2018 might have been it, because actually 2018, yeah, that was the year that 2018, I think it was actually the one. I think I had my years mixed up because it was the one that Boyer won. I know that was the snow race.
Yeah.
So that might have been 18 because I think that was the year that Haas dominated all the categories.
Yeah. Well, it says here from J-Ski.
Sorry,
yeah,
my bad.
From J-Ski and MRN that Martin Truex and Keselowski won those two races in 2019.
Yeah, it was 2018 was the Boyer year when they had the snow out.
Yeah. Well, either way, congratulations, Eli, for winning trivia tonight. You start out 2026 with a 1-point advantage over everyone. But that is going to close our show out tonight. As always, huge shout out to all of our sponsors and affiliates: Smackin' Sunflower Seeds, Sleeve, Century PC, Fubo TV, and as always, Circle B Diecast. Promo code LAPDOWN at checkout for $5 off of your order. And again, big shout out to Will and the Alkali Project for the intro and outro music on the show. I'm Greg Farmer, and for Alex, Ryan, Eli, and Jayme, this has been the Lap Down, and we will see you guys right after the Clash next week.
Deuces.
Deuces.
Did he leave himself and
Yeah.
not in recording?
Appears so.
Mine says
by
they're
the
still
way,
like
there's
recording.
I just went and sent the proof there to you, Jayme. And everybody else. I went and highlighted the specific line.
Okay. Well, like I said,
hang on.
I know it's perfect, but
I know we're still live, but I'm going to get Jason back in here because I think he has to end the recording.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that would be why.
So I did look it up.
So wait, are we still recording or no?
Yes, we're
it's still
recording.
recording.
Still technically live, but Jason can edit it.
So Darlington
cool.
was last repaved in 2008. It had a partial repavement in 2021 prior to that season.
What do you say?
What was that?
I didn't hear you.
He's really quiet.
That Darlington was fully repaved in 08 and was partially repaved in 2021.
Okay, yeah. So it was probably the 2021 incident that I was probably remembering when McDowell slipped on the pavement.
So it is a old pavement from
it was only a partial repave.
repavement.
Yeah. I just assumed that after they did the first part that they went and did the rest of it, but I guess not.
The Daytona was weird. The Daytona was last fully repaved in 11.
Look at the moose hat on my
partially in
screen.
12. I was like, that's weird.
What's Jason doing?
Probably went to bed. But yeah, this is what happens when. Is there a reason why you can't just let one of us log in as the host?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird problem to have.
Yeah, because I remember when I got access to the studio and the login area last year, I was able to do some fun stuff with little key card headers and actually having the stream title named beforehand.
Well, Jason's not answering the phone, So I'm wondering if we all just leave at the same time, if it'll end by itself.
Should we research that first so we don't lose the recording?
Let me see here.
Because that was a damn good podcast.
It was.
Yeah.
And
we
I
fire
think,
Jason?
I managed to hit on the under.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
I don't know. There was one episode we did, and somebody had me all fired up. I don't know who it was.
It could have been me.
All right. It says
Wait. Oh yeah. We didn't have
it says if everyone leaves the recording at the same time, it will still save the recording, but you must keep your browser tab open until the upload progress bar reaches 100%.
All right.
I don't know what that means. What's that mean?
When you hit leave, it'll say stay here and it'll say uploading, and when it hits 100%, then you can exit out of everything.
So pretty much for us, Eli, don't close out of the app. Just hit leave.
Yeah, basically
Okay.
what that means is if you exit out of everything before it hits 100%, your portion of the audio will not be saved.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, you guys obviously can leave whenever. I'm going to hop off here.
Yep.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.